I did not catch my wife cheating by reading her messages. I caught her because our hotel rewards app congratulated me on a weekend stay I never took. The notification popped up on my phone while I was under a sink at work, elbow deep in a clogged line, trying to keep a restaurant bathroom from flooding. I remember the exact smell of bleach and fryer oil mixing in the air when my screen lit up. Thanks for your stay. You earned 4,820 points. I stared at it like it was an ad, waiting for the punchline. My name is Derek. I am 34. I manage maintenance for a small chain of restaurants. It is steady work, the kind where people only call you when something is broken, and then they act surprised that it costs time and money to fix. My wife is Hallie. She is 31 and works in marketing for a regional healthcare company. Hallie is polished. She likes clean lines, clean plans, clean stories. She can talk for 10 minutes and make you feel like you agreed to something you never even heard. We have been married 3 years, together 6. No kids yet. We had been talking about it seriously, the way couples do when their friends start posting baby photos and you begin to feel time tapping your shoulder. Hallie had been the one pushing the conversation lately. She would send me videos about nurseries and talk about names on drives like it was sweet and casual. I thought we were building something. The rewards notification made my stomach drop because Hallie and I share most accounts. We travel a couple times a year, nothing fancy, and I handle loyalty programs because it saves money. Hallie never cares about points until there is a free upgrade involved, so when the app congratulated me on a stay, it could only mean one thing. Someone used our shared account. Someone booked a room under my loyalty number. I opened the details. Property: Lakeside Harbor Hotel. Check-in: Friday. Check-out Sunday. City: 2 towns over. I blinked hard. Last weekend. Hallie told me she was at a work retreat last weekend, a planning session with her team, an overnight thing, lots of presentations, too boring for me to care about. She even sent me a photo of a conference room with a whiteboard and coffee cups. Now I wondered if it was a staged photo from anywhere, or if she went to a real retreat and then left with someone after. I finished the repair on autopilot and sat in my truck, hands shaking slightly, scrolling through the reservation details. 2 guests. Room type: king. Late checkout requested. My throat tightened. Hallie and I always book 2 queens because she likes space, and I snore. A king is what you book when you want to be close. The app did not show the guest names, but it showed the folio was charged to a card ending in 4412. Our joint card. My heart started beating in my ears. I did not call Hallie. Not yet. I have learned that if you confront a person like Hallie without proof, you will end up apologizing for your tone while they rewrite the story. So I did the thing that felt both pathetic and necessary. I started collecting facts. That night, Hallie came home cheerful. She dropped her weekend bag near the laundry, kissed my cheek, and asked if I missed her. She smelled like hotel soap and peppermint gum. I said, "Yeah, of course." She smiled and went to shower. I sat on the couch and opened our bank app. There it was. Lakeside Harbor Hotel. Charge posted Saturday morning. The amount was not huge, but it was specific. Room, taxes, and a restaurant tab. I clicked the details and saw a second charge from the same property at 11:26 p.m. bar. I stared at it until my eyes hurt. If it was a work retreat, why was she at a hotel bar at almost midnight? I took screenshots. I put them in a folder on my phone named Simple. because that is what I needed. Simple facts. The next morning, I asked her casually how the retreat went. Hallie leaned against the counter, sipping coffee, and talked about her team and a presentation and how exhausting it was. She complained about a coworker who monopolized the conversation. She said the hotel beds were awful. The lie had texture, details, complaints, the kind of story people build when they want it to feel real. I asked which hotel. Hallie did not hesitate. She named a different one. Not Lakeside Harbor, a different property across the city. My stomach dropped in a quiet way. I nodded like it did not matter. Then I asked, "Did you keep the receipt? I want to submit it for points." Hallie laughed and said I handled the booking, so the receipt should already be in my email. Then she kissed my cheek and walked out to start her day, leaving me standing there with a cup of coffee I could not swallow. She thought the loyalty account was harmless. She thought points were boring. She did not realize boring things are what catch liars. At lunch, I called the Lakeside Harbor Hotel. I told them I needed a copy of the folio for my records. The woman on the phone asked me to verify the last 4 digits of the card and the email on file. I did. She said she could email it to me. When it arrived, my hands went cold. Primary guest, Hallie Mercer. Second guest, Roman K. Roman, my wife's ex. I had heard that name before, but not in years. Roman was the boyfriend she dated right before me, the one she described as intense and immature, the one she claimed she blocked because he would not stop trying to come back. I remember her telling me, early in our relationship, that Roman had a talent for making everything feel urgent. She said he was exciting, but exhausting. She said she chose peace with me. Peace. I stared at his name on the folio and felt my chest tighten. Apparently, she chose excitement again. I did not confront Hallie that night either. I wanted to see how far the story went, and I wanted to protect myself before I lit the match. I called my older cousin Nate, who works in finance and has the emotional warmth of a spreadsheet. I told him what I found. Nate asked one question. "Are you on the mortgage and the bank accounts equally?" I said yes, mostly. He said, "Then you move like you are separating, even if you have not said the words yet. Because once she knows you know, the first thing she will do is protect her image and her resources." That was Hallie in one sentence. So I took a day off work and handled logistics. I opened a separate checking account and moved my direct deposit. I did not drain the joint account. I just made sure my paycheck would not keep feeding a life I was not invited to live. I changed passwords on accounts in my name. I turned on alerts for any transfer over $100. I froze my credit because I had seen what panic makes people do. Then I scheduled a consultation with an attorney. Not because I wanted revenge, because I wanted clarity. That weekend, Hallie said she needed to run errands. She left in leggings and a nice top, the kind of outfit that pretends to be casual while still trying to look unforgettable. 2 hours later, our doorbell camera pinged. Motion. I opened the feed. Roman stood on my porch. My stomach dropped again. He was taller than I expected, with a neat beard and a calm expression that felt practiced. He held a small gift bag like he was delivering flowers to a friend. Then Hallie walked into view, smiling. Not a polite neighbor smile, a private one. She stepped close, took the bag, and led him inside. In my house. I watched the feed like my brain could not accept it. I was not home. Hallie did not know I was watching. She moved like this was normal. Like Roman was not a ghost from her past. Like I was not her husband. I drove home so fast my hands cramped on the wheel. When I pulled into the driveway, Roman's car was there. Hallie's car was there. The front door was locked. I unlocked it and walked in quietly. I heard voices in the kitchen. Hallie's laugh. Roman's low voice. I stepped in and saw them standing close by the counter, wine glasses in their hands. My wine glasses. Roman turned first. He looked at me with a small smile, like he had been expecting this scene eventually. Hallie froze. Her face shifted through a set of emotions faster than I thought possible. Surprise, fear, then the mask. She said, "Derek, you are home early?" I held up my phone and said I got a loyalty notification. Silence. Roman looked down at his glass. Hallie set hers on the counter carefully, like she wanted to appear calm. She said, "This is not what it looks like." I asked why Roman is in my house. Hallie said he just stopped by. She said he wanted to apologize for the past. She said she was giving him closure. Closure. With wine. In our kitchen. I asked about Lakeside Harbor. Hallie blinked once, then her eyes hardened. She said, "You went through my things. I said the hotel sent me a bill under my account and my card. That is not your privacy. That is fraud." Roman cleared his throat and said he can leave. I looked at him and said you should. Roman shrugged like he was bored and walked toward the door. Before he left, he looked at me and said quietly, "She told me you two were basically roommates." Basically, another universal word. He left. The door shut. Hallie stared at me like I had ruined her day, not like she had ruined our marriage. I asked her one question. How long? Hallie exhaled sharply and said it started as a mistake. She said Roman reached out months ago. She said he was going through a hard time. She said she only met him to talk. Then she said, like it would soften the blow, that she never meant for me to find out this way. This way. Like there was a nicer way to discover your wife used your loyalty points to cheat. I asked if she slept with him. Hallie did not answer immediately. Then she said, "Not exactly. Not exactly means yes." I felt my stomach go cold. I told her we are separating. Hallie's face changed. Not heartbreak. Calculation. She asked if I was serious. I said yes. She asked what that means for the house. There it was. The first real question. Not about us. About assets. I told her it means we stop pretending and we do this legally. Hallie started crying, but it felt like performance. She said, I am overreacting. She said, Roman is not a threat. She said, I am insecure. Insecure. The word people use when they want your boundary to feel like weakness. I told her insecurity is not the problem. Betrayal does. I went upstairs and packed a bag, not to leave, but to prove I could move without begging. I slept in the guest room that night with my phone on the nightstand, listening to the house creak. At 2:18 a.m., I heard her whispering on the phone in the hallway. I did not need to guess who. The next morning, Hallie tried a new approach. She was sweet. She made breakfast. She touched my hand like we were okay. She said she wants counseling. She said she will block Roman. Then she said one line that made my skin crawl. We can keep this quiet. Keep this quiet. So she could keep her image intact. So she could tell people whatever story she wanted later. I told her no. I told her our communication goes through writing from now on. I told her I already spoke to an attorney. Her sweetness vanished. She said, you are trying to ruin me. I said, you ruined us. I am just refusing to be your cover. That afternoon, I met the attorney. He asked me what I wanted. I said, I want peace, and I want a fair split, and I want no surprises. He told me to document everything, keep it calm, and stop sharing money without agreement. So I did. I removed my joint card from the hotel loyalty account and created a new one under my name only. I changed the password and removed Hallie's access. Petty, maybe. But I was done letting her use my identity for her choices. The next week, Hallie moved like a person trying to salvage control. She posted photos online like nothing changed. Dinner with friends, a sunset, a caption about gratitude. Meanwhile, she told me she needed money from the joint account to cover work expenses. I said, "Send me receipts." She exploded. She said, "I am controlling." She said, "I am punishing her." I said, "I am protecting myself." Then the final insult arrived. A charge on the joint card from Lakeside Harbor again. A new stay. 2 guests. Same pattern. She did not even wait. I called the card company and reported the card as compromised. I did it quietly, legally, and with a calm voice that surprised even me. When Hallie found out, she screamed that I embarrassed her at the front desk. I said, "Good. Maybe now you will stop using my life like a coupon." 2 days later, she showed up at my work, not because she missed me, because public places make her feel safer, because she likes witnesses. She stood in the parking lot and said we should talk like adults. She said, "I am throwing away years over one mistake." I said it was not one mistake. It was planning. It was loyalty points. It was inviting him into our home. Hallie's eyes narrowed. She said, "Roman understands her in a way I never did." I nodded and said, "Then go be understood. But you will not be funded." I walked back into work without looking at her again. The weeks after that were paperwork and quiet grief. I changed the locks because I did not trust who might have copies now. I inventoried the house like I was moving out of my own life. I told close family the truth, just facts, because rumors grow in silence. Hallie kept trying to negotiate the story. She wanted us to announce we are separating mutually. She wanted to say we drifted. She wanted to keep Roman's name out of it. I refused. Not because I wanted to destroy her, because I refused to carry her lie as my burden. When the separation agreement was drafted, Hallie suddenly became cooperative, polite, even. She smiled and said she wants this to be smooth. Smooth. Like she did not set a match to our marriage. I signed what was fair, protected my future, and walked away. The last time I opened the hotel rewards app, I saw the points from the weekend stay still sitting there, unclaimed, untouched. I could have used them. I could have turned betrayal into a free night somewhere. But I deleted the app instead. Some rewards are not worth keeping. If you want more real betrayal stories with clean endings and lessons that protect your peace, hit like and subscribe. It helps this channel reach the people who need the reminder that self-respect is not revenge. It is a boundary you stop apologizing for.